Good evening, everyone. I'm Gillian Stevens Borley. I am your MC for this evening's proceedings. And what a privilege it is to gather here tonight to celebrate someone truly extraordinary. Someone who has touched each of our lives in very meaningful ways. Tonight we honor Lisa and Joseph. Lisa is marking her 18th year as a crisis and strategic corporate communications specialist and an impressive 33 years, because you started when you were 5, right? Yeah. In the communications industry. Her journey is nothing short of remarkable. And throughout this evening, I'll share glimpses of the path that brought her here and all of us here tonight. Let's put cell phones on silent. Thank you. That's right. Lisa Ann's professional story began in 1992 with the Family Planning Association. Fresh from university with a degree in social sciences from SUNY Purchase, New York, she had briefly worked with her family's business in San Fernando. But she knew she needed to expand her horizons. With little experience in public relations, but armed with drive, hustle, and grit, she walked into an interview for a field she knew absolutely nothing about. Enter Hetty Sargent. Where's Hetty? Right, there's Hetty, right. The lights, right. Enter Hetty Sargent, the then executive director of FPA, who recognized something special in this eager young woman. Hetty saw potential, took a chance, and ensured that Lisa learned and developed. It was Hetty who opened the door to Lisa Ann's world of public relations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hetty Sargent.
Just making sure that everything is in order. Humility, determination, risk-taking, adaptability, and loyalty are just some of the attributes that I would use to describe Lisa and Joseph. Around the mid-90s, this young woman, barely out of university, was recruited by the Family Planning Association of Trinidad and Tobago as a public relations officer. And yes, I took a chance, but I knew what I was doing. Later on, she moved on to other companies. I will not name them now because I'm sure you'll hear from them later on. But over the years, we have watched Lisa grow by leaps and bounds. And I selected 5 of her attributes that I feel have been responsible for the steep rise in her professional life. Humility. Lisa came in very quiet, not anymore. And what endeared Lisa to all of us was her willingness to accept guidance, to accept constructive criticism, and to learn. And before we knew it, Lisa was off and running. Determination. One of Lisa's assignments was to do some research because the FPA was celebrating its 40th, I think, anniversary. And Lisa was given the job of looking for all the old pioneers, people whose names you may not even know, Dr. Ada Dade Camps, Nancy Montano, all these people who were at the forefront of starting up the FPA in the 50s. Lisa had to drive all over the country looking for these people, write up her research, prepare summaries, and make sure they were done in time to go into the annual report that year. And she was given very little time to do it, and she did it with aplomb. And to this day, that annual report is a keepsake. Right? I lose my place just now. Keith, I don't want to hear anything from you. Okay. Risk-taking. Lisa, after some years of Lisa working in various companies, she kept saying to me, Hetty, I'm thinking of moving and having my own business launch. And she discussed it with me, she discussed it with Yvonne, she discussed it with Corinne. I call in all the FBA people here and Kit, maybe. And Lisa, at a time when people were holding on to their sure salaried jobs, Lisa took the leap of faith and launched her own business. And fortunately, because of her winning personality and her enormous skills, she had made friends and a huge network around various companies in this country. So she didn't have to sell her skills to them. As a matter of fact, some of them went looking for Lisa when they found out that she had formed her own business. So I would say that her risk worked out. Next, she always showed a great deal of adaptability. You notice I'm not looking at the notes, eh? And with the advent of, or the oncoming of the pandemic, COVID, people were panicking, and that people with businesses, and that presented a crisis as well as an opportunity. Lisa grasped the opportunity with both hands, and she, to use an overused word, she pivoted. And she went on into other areas, training, mentorship, coaching. The girl even opened her new office to be an art gallery 2 weeks ago, right? So her flexibility and her adaptability helped propel Lisa forward. And finally, I think I'm at the sixth one now, the fifth, loyalty. Lisa is one of the most loyal colleagues, friends, sisters I've ever had. If Lisa tells you she's going to do something, she does it. If you share confidence with her, it will not go anywhere else. And all those attributes before that I mentioned are useless without your loyalty. So Lisa, I congratulate you on the 18th anniversary of the launch of your business. I wish you many more, continued success, and I love you.
Thank you very much, Hetty. Now, I won't take you chronologically through every chapter of Lisa's life, right? But consider this the highlight reel. Yes. So from FBA, Lisa moved to First Citizens Bank, becoming the very first manager of corporate communications under the astute leadership of Sharon Christopher, who is here with us. There she is. From there, she joined Trinidad Cement Limited Group of Companies as Group Corporate Communications Manager, overseeing communications across Jamaica, Barbados, Anguilla, and Trinidad and Tobago, under Dr. Roland Bertrand's leadership. At TCL, she forged lifelong friendships with colleagues who remain close to this very day, and some of them are here with us today, including Roland, Courtney McNish, and Marvin John Siller. I now invite Independent Senator Courtney McNish to say a few words.
No, he's not. Sorry.
I walked in here this evening and I saw Jillian, and all the memories of many years just came flooding back.
Yes.
I wouldn't say how many years.
Don't say it.
Lisa, thank you for even inviting me to say a few words. I was surprised and honored. And when you asked me, I said, of course. You and I have walked similar pathways. You recognize that? I am, whoever said no? Keith. We've walked similar paths. Lisa is an entrepreneur, She's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a risk taker. When Lisa came to TCL,
Don't give everything.
I must say something, right? I was the group HR manager, and she reported directly to I wouldn't call the name of the position of the person, but she had a dotted line to Rolling, our former CEO. And I remember having a conversation with Rolling with you. And this is the conclusion we arrived at, okay? Maybe her boss is too conservative for her. Maybe her ideas are too advanced, and I think, because her boss was a kind of meek, kind of, you know, I don't know how you coped with that, but okay, I didn't say it, but it didn't surprise me at all, Lisa, after, I think, about 2 years. I think you left, but you took the risk. You took the risk because you believed in yourself. You believe in what you could do, and you believe you had a product, which is yourself, and your service to offer the wider public. As a matter of fact, I never heard the term reputation management until I spoke with you. Didn't know about, I know about PR. We all know about corporate communication. Yeah, but when you work in an organization and you have accidents and death, it becomes a crisis. And you need people with skills and talent like Lisa to help guide you through. I was very impressed with your interview. Sometimes we in the corporate world, we still take this for granted until it hits you and you recognize that your brand is at risk. And that is why Lisa makes all this big bucks. Now, I'm not going to be very long, but when I say Lisa and I walk very similar paths, I too.
You have the big box.
I make big bucks. Okay, fine. Yeah, all right. But we left corporate Trinidad and Tobago on around the same time, and we both decided we're going to offer ourselves out there to the public and sell our services, not because there's big bucks to be made. Of course, there's big money to be made, but because we felt we can make a difference and a contribution to our country. And even though entrepreneurship is risk-taking, when it pays off, we smile. And as Roland always told me before I left, Courtney Consultancy has two big swings: feast and famine. Make sure when you feast, it is enough to help pull you through, because the famine will come. Lisa, know you've been through some famine. The Lord has been good to me. My famines were meager. Meager. My famines were meager. But it is, in fact, the life of a consultant. But then you become a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a leader in your field when your brand takes you way beyond feast and famine. It's steady. People come to you. People seek you out because your advice, your thoughts, your creativity is what is necessary, and they pay for it. Lisa, I congratulate you. I'm almost 20 years now in the business.
33 years of this.
Oh boy.
I started at 3.
Leave it at 20 now. 20 years of in business. I trust Trinidad and Tobago has not seen the best you have had to offer. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Courtney. After Lisa's time at TCL, I met Lisa Ann when we invited her for an interview with the Coca-Cola Company, where I was the Human Resource and Corporate Affairs Director for both Coca-Cola and Caribbean Bottlers. And at that interview, we met, and we bonded immediately. She assumed the role of Public Affairs Manager for the Coca-Cola Company, overseeing strategic and crisis communications for this global brand across the English-speaking Caribbean. But beyond her professional connection, she also became my friend. I wish to take this opportunity, Lisa, to thank you for your support to me personally and professionally. We've had our own adventures. I'll tell you about Jamaica a little, maybe after this. Yes. Some of our adventures were good and some very challenging. But we thrived through the good and we weathered well the challenges together. So thank you, my friend, for being the calm among my chaos. Camille Chatu, General Manager of Caribbean Bottlers, Trinidad and Tobago, has also worked alongside Lisa. Firstly, during the time both of them were in the Coca-Cola Company, and later when Camille was in Caribbean Bottlers with me, Lisa provided consultancy for both of us. So I'd like to now invite Camille to the podium to say a few words on behalf of the Coca-Cola Company and Caribbean Bottlers.
I don't want to lose my spot, so Hetty, I go in old school, right? And firstly, Lisa, thank you. Thank you. I mean, when you called me, I said absolutely that it will be my honor, because for years, and I think we have the benefit of having to get the best so far of Lisa, and, you know, for what she has done in terms of going out on your own. We have experienced what you brought to the Coca-Cola Company. So working alongside you was one thing. Jill spoke about friendship, and I'll talk a little bit more about that after. But also in the current position that I'm in, employing her in her new role as a consultant. And I could tell anyone here, if there's anyone you need to call to handle anything that you would like done regarding something simple like PR, but reputation management, organization, to keep you and your business on the right track. When I say you, because the advice that she has given both Jill and myself is not just for the company. It's how we present and how we are presented in the organization, and that's reputation management. And that's what Lisa is great at. So with that, I was getting a little bit to the formality. I was also about 3 years old when I met Lisa. That was in 2001, when she started her role as public affairs manager at the Coca-Cola Company, and we had a great time. I was country manager, and we had many interesting adventures, as Jill calls it. From the outset, our professional relationship fostered strong connections among different colleagues, but more importantly, as Jill said, we became friends. We're a small-knit group, not many of us. I think it was about 11 of us at one time. Started at 5 and grew to about 11. And having that close-knit relationship where we handled the entire Caribbean, friendship was very important because it was based on trust. Those connections we endured well beyond our time working together. Some of us have remained extremely close. We have a group chat that everyone who has any sort of engagement, any activity going on in their lives, we have that level of communication, jokes and all, including birthdays. We try to meet annually just to make sure we keep that bond going. And that has been going on for about 2 decades now. And even if we don't see each other, being able to have that connection is most important to all of us. It is also important to emphasize Lisanne's outstanding professionalism and reliability. While our friendship is valued, it is her exceptional work ethic, which you have heard a lot about tonight, her expertise, which I don't think anyone can compare to, and experience in communications and crisis management that truly set her apart. Her proficiency in reputation management, media relations, crisis communication is widely recognized and trusted by both Caribbean bottlers and the Coca-Cola Company. Her ability to offer guidance and strategic solutions have been consistently proven. Lisa, as you mark your 18 years as a strategic communications and crisis communications consultant, and she celebrates right now an impressive 33, because you started at 33 years in communication sector. We extend our sincere congratulations. And when I say we, it's not just the Coca-Cola Company, it's not Caribbean Bottlers, it's myself, it's Jill, it's everyone who has worked with you for the last 20, 25 plus years. We take great pride in witnessing her consultancy's development into a well-represented and well-respected company, and look forward to further collaboration in the future. We wish Lisa Ann continued success and prosperity in all her endeavors. More feast, no famine, right? More feast, no famine. Lisa, on behalf of all of us, congratulations coming from the Coca-Cola Company and ourselves. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Camille. After Coca-Cola, Lisa Ann moved to another global giant, BPTT, as their corporate communications manager, with responsibility for crisis communications and media relations. But the consultancy bug was calling even louder. When the opportunity arose to be part of the core team hosting the 5th Summit of the Americas and the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2009, she saw her chance to play on the world stage, opportunities that come once in a lifetime for people like us in the Caribbean. She left BPTT, took on the role of marketing consultant for these landmark events, and here her consultancy was born. Ian Chinapoo, where's Ian? There's Ian, right. Yes, present. Lisa Ann has served the private sector almost exclusively over 17 years, and one company which she's had a long-lasting relationship with was the Unit Trust Corporation. During her time with UTC, Lisa Ann also worked with one of its former executive directors, who now heads the largest insurance group in the region. Please welcome Ian Chinapoo, CEO of Guardian Group.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Very, very pleased to be here, Lisa. And then when you called me, I'm like, what? 18 years already? It's so long we're in this trouble? Yep. So I have not worked with Lisa in the sense of Lisa working in the same company as me, but I feel like we have, right? So I'm going to speak actually going back a little further. So many people have spoken about you as a friend, as a mentor, as a mentee, and all of that. I'm going to speak about you as a teacher.
Okay.
Yes. Interesting. Yeah. Now, at 22 years old, I became the youngest vice president at Citigroup in the Western Hemisphere. I found out about that when I was 24, when HR called me and said, "You're a VP in Miami," because I was appointed in the region. When you're a young leader, and I was also the youngest executive director, which is like CEO at Unit Trust. My first job, though, was across by Sharon in First Citizens in the International Industrial Merchant Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, when it was NCB before, right when it became FCB. First Citizens, sorry, you're not supposed to say FCB. First Citizens Bank, Sharon taught us that.
That's true. That's true.
Big four-powered Sharon in the room. And as a young leader, one of the things that you don't always know how to do is to watch your words. Because you speak from the heart, you speak with passion, and you inevitably get foot and mouth disease, right? So I have 3 regrets, and you'll understand why I say Lisa Ann is one of my teachers. I regret I ever met you. Because by the time I found Lisa, it was because I was in crisis. Unit Trust was coming out of the Clico debacle. People wanted to pull their money, and I ended up in this company, right? So that's where we met.
Yeah.
Natasha isn't here today, Natasha Davis.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, you'll see how you taught me, Natasha Davis, who I took from TSTT,
Yeah.
the job I created for Natasha was VP of Reputation Management, right? Anyway, so I'm sorry I ever met you, because of course we were in crisis.
Yeah.
The second thing I regret, right, is that I didn't meet you sooner. Because we could have avoided so many problems,
Yeah, that's true.
right? I regret still knowing you. Because that means I'm still in problems. Remember 2 years ago
Yeah, yeah.
in Emancipation Day?
Yeah, I remember.
So I don't know how many stories we can give because most of them will get me in trouble, politically and otherwise. But when you're in a public space, especially financial services, you know that you're always in the limelight. People are always looking for reasons to tear down your company, find things to hurt you, and you know you're representing so many people. So as a teacher, and I'm going to recognize Tony here as well, I think Courtney was the one who said back during, was it Hetty who said during COVID, you pivoted into teaching? Long before that. You were doing courses, you and Tony, at Unit Trust, long before that. So the confidence to go and do those interviews, to stand up and answer these questions. I remember you and Tony came to prepare me for my first Anthony Wilson interview.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, forget it.
Jesus. Now we're good friends. We on WhatsApp. Not too scary anymore. So for me, you made the impossible seem possible. And that's why I consider you one of my teachers. And as a client and as a consultant, that's why you're so good. Because we all remember two sets of people, right? Our parents and our relatives and our teachers. Thank you very much, Lisa.
He regretted it. He's regretted it. Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Before fully entering into the consultancy world, Lisanne cultivated strong relationships with media professionals. And Ian spoke a little bit about this just now. One relationship in particular evolved from mutual respect into friendship and eventually into a partnership. Together, they have trained over 5,000 executives throughout the English-speaking Caribbean in media and crisis communication. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Tony Fraser.
It's more than
Can't believe that. Yeah, folks, I start from the end of what I want to say, really. And I do so because I'm conscious of the calypso tense of old, when there was a fella with a crook stick. If you stay too long, so I had to avoid that crook stick business. Seriously, I start at an interview that Lisa did with the Express. Was it last weekend?
Yes. Michael
Yeah.
Mondesi is the interviewer.
And what Lisa impressed me with in the interview is her assurance of the subject matter that she was talking about. I was really impressed, Lisa. And she said it in a way that could not be contradicted. She was assured of herself and what she was saying. Crisis communications, communications generally. And how you develop the capacity, she was talking with regard to people like Ian, how you develop the capacity to talk your way out of difficulties and into a better place. She really impressed me. Clearly, she had, I'm going to say mature, which puts a full stop at the end of it. In the process of maturing, how is that? Better? Well, that she could communicate what she really wanted to do and the assurance of the capacity that she has to deal with the whole business of crisis communication. I met Lisa a long time ago. I was teaching a program, Roytech program in communications, which the great George John told me to do, and I obeyed. And she was one of the students. I've been trying to remember how well she did in the program, but I can't.
I passed.
I can't. And then again, with a lot of initiative, she called on me. I didn't know her before, but she called on me and said, look, let's go and do a program of communications. I think it was with industrial relations group or something like that. Some human resources, I think it was. And I suppose the process started from there. And over the period of time, we have developed this program, which I hope we have assisted people over the period of time, people like Ian and other companies and so on, that we've gone with. And what, again, I admire about Lisa is how she has interacted with the executives to persuade them and convince them it's a program that they should all engage in. But I want to step back to the first point. In that express interview, and I hope to end after that, in that express interview, what I heard Lisa saying, sometimes you hear things which are not there in somebody else's mind, but nevertheless you hear them. That she was at a point in her life where she's not taking shit from anybody. Sorry about the language, but I think that expresses it best. Yeah. So when you reach to that point, I think it's a real sense of maturity and being assured of yourself and what you want to do into the future. So Lisa, it's been great, accompanying you over the years. It's been what, 15, 16 years?
18 years.
Hola. When I started, I had black hair. But it's clearly been a course and a pathway of real achievement. Not only in terms of her achievement, but how she has assisted persons. You heard Ian talking about it, how she has assisted persons in this business of communication. All the best for the future, Lisa.
Thank you very much, Tony. Last but certainly not least, Lisanne asked that this final speaker close our tributes this evening, knowing she would beautifully tie together the celebration of this remarkable woman and her journey. I mentioned her earlier, Sharon. Where's Sharon? Right, there's Sharon. After Lisanne's first time at First Citizens Group, their friendship endured and deepened, much like the friendships of so many of us here gathered this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon Christopher.
Well, I don't have a written speech, which is a good thing, because everybody would have said what everybody has said. I would have said the same thing. And the one thing about being last is that, everybody's kind of, okay, I've heard it before. What do you have to add? But I really want to, when I think about it, there are two things that I want people to understand about Lisa. The first is, Tony, you felt you were a little indelicate, and people might feel this is indelicate. But I think you all need to understand that this is a woman who entered a field as a black woman, as a woman who, as a black woman, I want to make that point, at a time when the field was dominated by whites and half-whites and whatever. And that is what she did. And on top of that, she's short. So she doesn't even have to. And sometimes we look at people and we look at their success and we don't really understand what that success means. And I think that's something we need to understand about what Lisa has done. So that's the first thing I want to say. Yeah, we should. The second thing I want to say is, we talked about Lisa, and Lisa had said, I was a mentor. And it's true, she came into First Citizens. I was impressed with her for all the things everybody has said. And I was always, I'm always one who likes to bring women along. No offense to the men, but, that's I am, and that's my space. And for many years, I mentored Lisa. And then in 2014, I faced the worst crisis of my professional life. And she became my mentor. And that's something that, that she stood by me, and it's not just friendship, her competence that she brought into the situation, the way she was able to make me handle so many things that were going on. So that is something, Lisa, I would never forget. And I remember I told you when the mentor becomes the mentee. And that's something that's I think that's very significant. And I'm going to end there. I'm not going to go on anymore. But I really want to say to you, Lisa, I hope that you always understand the value that you bring. You always understand what you are and what you have done and what you are capable of achieving, and that you're always kind to yourself.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. After hearing from those who have witnessed her excellence, shared in her triumphs, and walked alongside her for the last 3 decades in this communication mastery that Lisa has brought to us, a woman who has moved from chaos to calm, who took bold steps when others thought she was crazy, who became a leading voice in Caribbean corporate crisis communication. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my privilege. Please join me in welcoming our guest of honor, Lisa and Joseph.
Lord have mercy. To make sure the things are covered.
Everything's fixed.
Everything's
right?
fixed.
Right. Good. For the camera.
This feels like an out-of-body experience. And I'm listening and I'm thinking, oh God, that person sounded a real good boy. Who is she? How can I call her? Anyway, thank you. Thank you. I must confess, standing here tonight is far from comfortable for me. I have spent over 3 decades helping others tell their stories, advising leaders on what to say when the stakes are highest, working behind the scenes. Tonight, the tables have turned, and I'm the one in the spotlight, and it's very uncomfortable. But here I am, because sometimes we have to practice what we preach, because many of you in here, I have been telling you all the same story. You're having a good time, right? Saying, watch you tonight. You're only telling me, make sure you have your makeup and things, your speech, and go and do it. And stay on message. All right, okay. So as I pause to reflect on 18 years of building my own practice and 33 years in communications, I'm filled with deep gratitude for this journey, and each of you has walked it with me, each one of you here. It was in 1992 when I stepped into this field. I just came home from SUNY Purchase, New York with my degree, spent a brief time in my family's business, which I'm proudly still a part of. And I felt this pull, though, to explore beyond what was familiar. My father had always emphasized the value of building something on your own, and I knew I wasn't ready yet. I needed to learn and grow first. So there I was at the Family Planning Association, walking into Hetty Sargent's office with her full African garb, head wrap and all, looking like an African queen. And she had more determination and experience than I knew of. But me with no background in PR, but I showed up ready to work, ready to learn. Hetty saw past my inexperience and gave me the critical first chance. That's where everything began, where I discovered that was exactly where I belonged. And this was also where I found my lifelong friends, Hetty, Yvonne, Corinne, and Glennis, who unfortunately passed away. But the first 3 are here with me today. The years that followed took me places I never imagined. First Citizens Bank brought me to create their first corporate communications manager role under Sharon Christopher. Then the TCL Group opened doors across the region, Jamaica, Barbados, Anguilla, Trinidad, and Tobago, where I managed communication and built relationships that have endured well beyond those office walls. Rollin, Courtney, who are here, and Marvin, who couldn't make it today. These gentlemen were not just colleagues, they became some friends. Then the Coca-Cola company recruited me as their public affairs manager for the Caribbean. I really started to understand what it meant to communicate effectively in our region. Every market is different, every audience unique. I listened. I learned to listen, to adapt, to craft messages that truly connected with Caribbean people. The WhatsApp group that Camille mentioned keeps us connected to this KO family that still play a critical role in my life. So Jillian, Camille, and the others on the group, I thank you. Then came BPTT, where I dove into the world of crisis communication and media relations. That's where I began to notice a pattern. Too many organizations in the Caribbean treated communication as an afterthought. When trouble hit, everyone scrambled. There were no clear strategies, no preparation. People believed that they could just figure it out in the moment instead of being ready. But by 2007, I spent 15 years learning from the best, and many of you are in this room, working across industries, handling everything from routine announcement to full-blown crises. I had gained experience in banking, manufacturing, consumer goods, and energy. And I kept hearing my father's voice reminding me about ownership, about building something that was mine. Was I scared? Without question. Leaving stable, well-paying senior positions to start from scratch? Are you mad? People openly questioned my judgment, but something inside me knew it was time, and my faith confirmed it. Then the opportunity came to consult for the 2009 Summit of the Americas in CHOGM. And I leapt into this at 2007. These were world stage moments that don't come around often, especially here in the Caribbean. That work became the foundation for everything that followed. Early on, I assumed I'd be doing traditional PR work, press releases, media coordination, and that sort of thing. But what I discovered was that organizations were hungry for something deeper. They needed someone who understood that when your reputation is at stake, when people's jobs or safety hang in the balance, you can't afford to improvise. Crisis communication isn't public relations with a different label. It's specialized work that requires specific training, real work experience, real world experience, and the judgment that comes from having been tested. You need someone who's been in the pressure cooker. I have been there. Who knows what it's like when decisions have real consequences for real people. Over these 18 years, I've built something I'm deeply proud of. What began as just me working from wherever I could has evolved into a complete communications practice that serves everyone from regional giants to local enterprises. I've worked with thousands of executives, board members, and teams across the Caribbean, helping them prepare for and navigate their toughest moments. Here's something that still amazes me. I've partnered with major international firms, met their standards, earned their trust, and now these same international consultancies hire me to represent them in the Caribbean. They recognize that we have the expertise right here. We don't need to import it. But do we recognize that as Caribbean people? That's your question to ponder on. We need to claim our place at the table. Let me be honest about this work, about what this work actually involves, because many people seem to claim they know how to do it. Many people can do PR. Only a chosen few can do crisis management. And doing it within the Caribbean space is also next level. Staying composed when everyone else is panicking, that requires more than you think. I've been in boardrooms where decisions being made would change hundreds of lives. I've helped leaders navigate tragedies, losses, and disasters. When you're in those situations, it stays with you. You carry it home. You wake up at 3 a.m. running through every possible scenario. Did I give the right advice? What if this happens? What if this person flakes? What if, all sorts of things. It becomes part of you for however long that crisis lasts. It's a lived experience only a few can do. To sum it up, quoting my friend Michael Mondesi, you won't hire a general medical practitioner to do brain surgery. Yes, Yvonne, take off your alarm. My approach has always been straightforward. People first, organizations second. I present the options, explain the implications, and let leaders make informed choices. I can guide and advise, but I can't and won't make decisions that aren't mine to make. My faith isn't just part of my life, it's the foundation of everything. Without it, I honestly don't know how I would have navigated these years, especially this past year, which tested me in ways I didn't expect. Those childhood lessons that seemed repetitive at the time, they're the anchors I hold on to when everything else is uncertain. I am fortunate to have wonderful friends who understand when I need to just sit, share a glass of wine, talk, and decompress. Those moments restore me, help me reset, and so I can show up fully for the next challenge. After 3 decades plus in this field, here's what I know for certain. Reputation is the only thing that truly endures. Not your bank account, not your title, not your possessions. What people remember is how you treated them, the impact you had, the integrity you demonstrated. That's what outlasts everything else. This understanding also drives my work with young professionals. As a guest lecturer at the Sagicor Cave Hill School of Business and Management in Barbados, I try not to just share crisis management techniques, but perspective. The Caribbean already has extraordinary talent. Our job is to nurture the next generation so they can build on what we have started. Looking around this room tonight, I see so many faces that represent different chapters of my story. Some of you gave me my first opportunities when I was still finding my way. Others took a chance on me when I started my practice. Many of you have remained partners year after year, some relationships stretching back 18 years now. To my First Citizens family, my TCL crew, everyone from Coca-Cola days, my BPTT colleagues, UTC, Guardian Group, European Union, Ansa McCall Group, Queen's Hall, and others, I thank you for your trust. To Jillian, Camille, Sharon, Courtney, Ian, Tony, and Hetty, and so many others who have supported me, your belief in my work means everything. To my mother, Jessica Joseph, and my father who couldn't be here tonight, and my sister Tracia, my close friends, my neighbors who became my friends, my accountants who became my friends, and the best administrative assistant anyone could ask for. She taught me this. You all know about this? It's called what? Eat it. Clock it. Sorry, not clock it. So everybody clock it. Yeah? Generational gap. Your unwavering support has been my bedrock. You celebrated my wins, held me through the challenges, and never once let me doubt that I was on the right path. You've been there through my late nights, sometimes very, very, very late nights. You know, Yvonne, Joanna, Jillian, Corinne, Hetty, Nicole. I don't know if Elaine is here. The difficult decisions, the moments of uncertainty, and the triumphs. This journey would not have been possible without you standing beside me. Thank you for your love. your patience, Yvonne, your constant encouragement. You are the foundation upon which everything else has been built. I treasure you all. I remain committed to continuous growth. Some of the most valuable insights I've gained have come from sitting with seasoned leaders in this room, absorbing your wisdom. Every conversation, every experience adds something to what I can offer my clients, current and future. My commitment moving forward is simple. Stay ethical, stay flexible, stay focused on excellence, and operate only in truth. Help organizations navigate from chaos to clarity. Keep choosing balance, even when the work demands everything. Continue building and protecting reputations that truly matter. So I thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for being part of this journey, and thank you for trusting me with what matters most to you. God bless you all. Thank you. Right. I did it without crying.
Well done, you did well, very well, well done.
Clock it. Clock it. Clock it. Christ was with you. All courtesy, Mr. Mondesi here. I just want to present Jillian, who did a fantastic job as Master of Ceremonies. Thank you.
Folks, I just want to close off again on behalf of Lisanne. I want to thank everyone, colleagues, friends, family, for being here to celebrate with her. To all the speakers who joined. Hello. I'm still talking. Go ahead. To all the speakers who joined us to honor Lisanne this evening and share their. All right. Ready? Okay, let's go. To all the speakers who joined us here tonight to celebrate Lisanne and her journey, I thank you on behalf of Lisanne. I know she's already thanked you, but I want to thank you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this evening's proceedings. So thank you all, mommy, sister, thank you everybody for joining Lisanne in this celebration. Wonderful celebration. Thank you.